The zodiac signs were invented 3,000 years ago, and they're wrong. Your zodiac sign tells you which constellation the sun was positioned in front of on the day you were born. If you are a Scorpio, the astrologers of 3,000 years ago believed the sun was in front of the constellation Scorpius on your birthday. If you are a Leo, they believed the sun was in front of Leo. These positions were determined by Babylonian astronomers around 1000 BCE and codified by Greek astronomers in the 2nd century CE. And here is the problem. The astronomical positions they observed 3,000 years ago are no longer correct. Earth spins on its axis, but its axis is not fixed. Like a wobbling top, the Earth's rotational axis slowly traces a circle in space over a period of approximately 26,000 years, a phenomenon called axial precession. This wobble changes which stars are closest to the celestial poles over time, and it also causes the sun's apparent position against the background of the constellations to shift slightly each year. Over 3,000 years, this shift has accumulated to approximately 30 degrees, roughly the width of one zodiac sign. Practical consequence of axial precession is that the sun is now in a different constellation on each date than it was when the zodiac was designed. If you are an Aries, born between March 21 and April 19, the sun on your birthday is actually in the constellation Pisces, not Aries. If you are a Scorpio, born between October 23 and November 21, the sun is actually in the constellation Libra. Every zodiac sign in Western astrology is off by approximately one sign from the actual constellation the sun is in. It is somewhat more complicated than a simple one-sign shift, because the constellations are not all the same size. The zodiac constellations that the Babylonians defined are unequal in the sky. Virgo, for example, spans about 46 degrees of the ecliptic, while Scorpius spans only about 7 degrees. The International Astronomical Union, which defines the official boundaries of constellations, recognizes 13 constellations on the ecliptic, not 12, because Ophiuchus, the serpent-bearer, occupies a significant section of the sun's apparent path that the Babylonian zodiac completely ignored. Sidereal astrology, used in Vedic or Indian astrology, does attempt to account for precession. It uses the actual current positions of the constellations rather than the fixed positions established 3,000 years ago. This makes it more astronomically accurate than Western astrology, though the interpretation of zodiac positions is equally unsupported by scientific evidence in either system. The interesting fact is that if you want your astrology to at least be pointing at the right stars, you should be using the Indian system rather than the Western one. The scientific status of astrology is clear. No mechanism has been demonstrated by which the position of the sun relative to background stars at the time of birth could influence human personality or life events. The planets and stars are so distant that their gravitational and electromagnetic effects on individual humans are negligible compared to the effects of far more proximate forces. The air pressure in the room, the gravitational effect of the obstetrician. Multiple large-scale statistical studies have found no correlation between zodiac signs and personality traits, professions, or life outcomes. And yet astrology persists, and it persists specifically because it provides something that science does not: a meaningful framework for self-understanding and self-narration. Reading about your zodiac sign produces insights that feel personally relevant. This is not because the stars are telling you something about yourself, but because the descriptions are written to be broadly applicable while feeling specific, and because humans are extraordinarily good at finding patterns that confirm what they already believe about themselves. This is called the Barnum effect, named after the showman P.T. Barnum. So, your zodiac sign is wrong by one sign because of precession. The 13th sign, Ophiuchus, is missing from your tradition. The Babylonians who designed your horoscope lived 3,000 years ago and did not know that the Earth wobbled. And the scientific evidence for astrology's predictive power is essentially zero. If you find your zodiac sign personally meaningful, that meaning is real. It lives in the framework you've built around it, in the conversations it starts, in the identity it provides. The stars, for their part, have no opinions. They are doing other things, very, very far away.